Yeah.
There's Joseph. Hey, man, thank you for your time. What a run. An absolute just grilled. A really good Tennessee team yesterday. Killed them at the start, Joseph. Just like took their heart away at the beginning. And here we are with all the things they've had with injuries, whatever, and they represent the Big 12. Your thoughts about just the accomplishment. Was this the lowest, was this the minimum standard of what they had to do to have a year that people expected? Or is that asking for too much for anybody to say Final Four or bust?
Right. No, I mean, I wrote that at the beginning of the year, and people kind of looked at me like, well, you're putting the too much on them. Well, no, that wasn't the case. I mean, this is a team that they returned 4 starters. Now, granted, the one guy that they lost was Jamal Shedd, but this hadn't been the case. Kelvin Sampson's always had to replace 4 departures. He had 4 guys coming back. So it made sense. You know, they were the defending Big 12 champion. Did I think it would happen like this? Absolutely not. They're going into the Final Four winning 30 of the last 31 games, 17 in a row, and the only loss is by 1 point to Texas Tech. And I saw, the crazy stat is they haven't lost in regulation since November. So, I mean, this is a team that took care of business. And I think Sunday basically showed what they're all about. Defense wins championships, and they play defense better than anyone in the country. I was speechless. I thought they would have a chance Sunday, thought it would be a better game. But they really took it to Tennessee and on both sides.
Joseph, I think is kind of funny about yesterday's game was that Saturday, they had they were probably by their own standards not as efficient offensively and still dominating that game. And that kind of shows you what this team can do is that they can be wonky. They can have a tight game where they're not making shots like they did against Purdue on Friday. And then on Sunday, all of a sudden, they're making more shots, but they've been better offensively, and still they're able to dominate.
Yeah, and the big part of it was they came out of the gate. I mean, you would have thought that they were running in the Indy 500 because they came out and just next thing you know, Tennessee's looking at the scoreboard and they're down almost 20. But you're right. The second half, I found some positives because they did not shoot as well at times. But unlike the Gonzaga game and the Purdue game, both of those got tight late because they gave up double-digit leads, and it almost went the wrong way for them. But yesterday, when Tennessee got down to 10 points, Emmanuel Sharp hit 2 just dagger threes, and then Malik Wilson hits another one, and that was kind of all she wrote. So they've got the weapons. LJ Cryer, for instance, he had a really rough game against Purdue. Came back yesterday, had 17, but even that was a tough 17 points. So they've got guys that can score, but certainly this team feeds off of that defense. And you don't need to score a lot of points when you're only giving up so many. It was Tennessee didn't hit back-to-back buckets until 2 minutes left in the first half, and one of them was on a goaltending. That's how bad it was for Tennessee. They were 0 for 14 to start on 3. Those are just the type of stats that if you play that type of defense, no matter what you do on offense, you're going to be in every game, and that's why Houston is 34-4 and playing in the Final Four.
In the Elite Eight, they're 1 of 11, Cryer and Sharp at halftime. They're only down by 2 on the last second couple of free throws at no time left. And I heard after the game when they asked Kelvin, or maybe it was, I don't know if it's the ESPN, or not ESPN, CBS or whoever. It's like, hey, we had our 2 best shooters are 1 for 11, and we're down by just 2. We're fine. It's not that he was happy, but to me that said quite a bit that they didn't get a little bit hyperventilated, so to speak.
Ticket Club is a unique platform that aims to revolutionize the way consumers purchase event tickets. It primarily functions as a membership-based ticketing platform, offering a wide array of tickets to concerts, sporting events, theater shows, and other live entertainment events. The main distinction of Ticket Club from other ticketing platforms is its commitment to delivering tickets with no service fees. Features and benefits of Ticket Club. One of the most distinctive features of Ticket Club is the absence of service fees. Most ticketing platforms charge service fees, which can elevate the cost of the ticket significantly. However, with Ticket Club, the price you see is the price you pay. This translates to substantial savings, especially for frequent ticket buyers. Ticket Club also offers a diverse selection of event tickets. From Broadway shows and music concerts to NFL games and comedy shows, Ticket Club has it all. This diversity makes it an ideal ticketing platform for all entertainment lovers. Reliability and pricing. When it comes to reliability, Ticket Club does not disappoint. The platform guarantees the delivery of authentic tickets on time for the event. In the rare case that a problem arises, the company promises to refund 100% of the purchase price. Ticket Club operates on a membership basis. Non-members can still purchase tickets, but they are subject to small service fees. To enjoy the no service fees benefit, one can join as a member at a fee of $49.99 per year. However, certain groups, such as military personnel and first responders, can receive free memberships as a thank you for their service. Customer support. Customer support is a critical aspect of any business, and Ticket Club excels in this area. The platform provides comprehensive customer support to ensure all queries and issues are handled in a timely and professional manner. Customers can reach out via phone or email, and the Help Center on their website offers answers to frequently asked questions. Unique features and benefits. In addition to the no service fees feature, Ticket Club has a unique feature called the Ticket Club Premier program. This allows members to earn points on their purchases, which can be redeemed for discounts on future purchases. This feature adds to the overall value provided by the platform and encourages customer loyalty. In conclusion, the introduction to Ticket Club reveals a platform that is designed with the customer in mind. The no service fees policy, diverse event selection, reliability, competitive pricing, and excellent customer support make Ticket Club an appealing choice for purchasing event tickets. Whether you're a sports fanatic, a theater enthusiast, or a concert goer, Ticket Club is your reliable partner for event tickets.
Yeah, and that's a big part of what they do. They don't panic. You know, you've seen some teams that will get tight, and then it gets really, really dicey at the end. They're not like that. They feel like they're gonna pull it out. If they've got to go to overtime, they'll go that route. But I mean, they're a very confident group, and to have those two guys specifically that didn't necessarily have great shooting starts. Terrence Arsenault came off the bench and had a couple of big threes. Malik Wilson, they didn't even know if he was going to play. He took a really hard hit to the head on the floor. He comes in and delivers a big moment. And then JoJo Tugler, I don't know what you can say about just the trouble and the problems they create. I mean, they got three guys, two specifically to have like 7'4" or more wingspans, and that just teams haven't seen that. Teams don't know how to prepare for it, and that's why the defense is so good. This time of year.
We had Reed Geddes on Friday. I think it was on Friday's show, and of course you know the history with him. He's going to be on with us later in the week too. And he was talking about Tugler. He talked about a lot of guys, but he talked about Tugler over and over again. And I know if people who watch basketball know who he is, but he gets overshadowed, and yet he might be as much the difference maker that takes him to a different level, would you say?
Well, Reed had a lot of assists in his career. He might say Tugler's is up there, the one that he delivered to Milos for the game winner against Purdue. That play and the instinct there shows you just how far he's come in his second year to react and be able to make that bounce pass. But to your point, this is a guy who a year ago at this time, he wasn't even playing in the tournament. He broke his foot about 2 weeks. It was around the Baylor game when the team went to Waco, right before that game, and they didn't have him. Kelvin Sampson admitted that was a huge blow for what they wanted to do in the tournament. And now he comes back. He's not only Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. He's one of 4 finalists for the Naismith. I've seen some places that have named him one of the top glue guys just for all the other things that he does. He's not a scorer. He's not going to give you the 15, 20 points or even 10 at times, but he gives you the 4 or 5 blocks. He had 8 blocks against Alabama during a game in November. So all those things that he does, the deflections, the tip outs, he is sort of the guy who gets maybe lost among the guards, but he is a huge part of what they do, and he'll be an even bigger part this week going up against Duke.
Duke is probably the team that played the best this weekend. I mean, I think both games combined overall. But because of the style we've talked about, does Houston maybe have the medicine for Duke, to get over that hump? I mean, they're so deep and so good, but I mean, they've got a bunch of guys who just don't play around.
Yeah, and I liken this to some games that Houston's gone in this year where they know that people are going to say, well, you got to keep up with them. You got to keep the pace up. You got to score with them, and that's not Houston's style. They make you play their game. They will you to get if you're scoring 88 or 90 like a BYU or in Arizona on the road, or even Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech is the last team to score 80 or around that. They feel like if they can bring you into the 60s, then that's that backyard brawl. That's that type of game that it's on their turf now. And I think that's what this type of game will be at. Tennessee was very similar. They played very physical style. Did I think that they would only have 50 points? And no, I didn't think it was going to be like that. But Duke, you look at the stats and Cooper Flagg and what Houston's going to have to deal with. I mean, it's just not all Cooper Flagg, but I think this is another one of those games that Houston can sort of they have time to game plan. Because a couple of years ago in San Antonio, they played a number 1 seed Arizona that had a bunch of NBA prospects, was a high-scoring team, and Houston walked out of that game in the Sweet 16 with a big win. So, I mean, maybe San Antonio repeats itself, but I have no qualms that Kelvin and his crew will have a pretty good game plan with several days to prepare.
I know that they played really close to Lafayette, and Indianapolis, only like an hour and 7 or 10 minutes away. But now they're right next door to San Antonio. Now they're the ones that have the home court. Basically, you would think, and how that all breaks up down inside the Alamodome, I don't know. But to be there again, I saw them in 21 when Baylor won it all, and Houston was a part of the Final Four. And you could see, and Sampson's been there, but this team here, it's almost like that's what, even then, even though they've been good since then, but it was almost like building for this moment. And then on top of that, LJ Cryer has the experience. He wasn't one of the dudes on that team, but it's pretty cool. He's done that full circle too.
Right, absolutely. And, before I get into it, I'll tell you a little story from the locker room. Kelvin still brings up the Baylor game, and he's like, Baylor was the best team. He says Baylor may be the best team that they played since he's been there, that 2021 Baylor team. And he said, look, we had no business, being on the court. They were that good. And then you fast forward, and they've had a couple of, near misses, the Elite Eight the next year, and they lose to Villanova. And then the really two tough ones to swallow with being a number 1 seed and bowing out in the Sweet 16. He joked with us. He was like, well, if that, Jordan Poole of Michigan 3-pointer at the buzzer doesn't go in, they could be looking at 3 or 4 Final Fours just in the last 7 years here. But, it's sort of a reward to get to San Antonio. You're going to have Houston fans notoriously don't travel for these type of regionals. There wasn't a lot. They were loud, but there just weren't a lot for Wichita and Indianapolis. But I don't know if you guys saw the stat. This is the toughest path that a number 1 seed has taken out of a regional since 2017 North Carolina. They beat a 16. They beat an 8 seed Gonzaga, who had no business being an 8 seed. You played number 4 Purdue in their backyard, and then you played number 2 Tennessee, pretty much another road game. So they're going to enjoy and take in having a lot of red in San Antonio. And I've seen it packed before, and maybe that'll be the difference for them this time around.
Are you at an airport?
I am.
I can tell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
late flight. Late flight. No more 5:30 a.m. flights for me.
Yeah, you could just get in the car now. That's you drive. What is it? Well, how far? 2 hours to Houston and San Antonio?
I can drive. I was hoping you didn't say for me to drive from Indianapolis.
No.
That's about a 3-hour drive from.
And that's where Houston played Baylor in Indianapolis at that COVID year. Yeah. You fly into and get some rest, Joseph. I know it's a long haul, but it's fun, man. You got a team that is so much fun to watch. They really, really are. Paul, anything else for Joseph?
Nope.
Joseph, thanks, man. Appreciate you jumping on with your schedule, crazy as it is. That's Joseph Duarte, covers Houston, University of Houston for the Houston Chronicle.